Hey guys, wooootles here, and in this video I will show you the revamped Vybe Hotel. Let's call it Vybe 2.0. No, this is not a brand new skyscraper. This is a modification of my old design, which was wider. Basically, I made the floor plan more square so that I can utilize its footprint more efficiently in my ever-changing Wasabi district layout. Before we start, I have a few points to make. 1. Instructions are unrubricable. That's right, this will be my second skyscraper that I will feature on the site, and this contains a massive 8,000 plus pieces, so keep that in mind. 2. On this video you'll find some details that aren't on instructions. Many of them are extra pieces that I added to support the LED wiring infrastructure. This skyscraper has been lit up with Light My Bricks lights, so I built shrouds and fixtures solely to put the lights in place. Not everyone is a fan of LED lights, or this particular LED brand even, so I left it out of the instructions. Other details that I left out are the blinds and curtains. Basically, I put random pieces on some of the windows to simulate closed windows. It's something I do in all of my tall glass buildings, but I understand if other potential builders may opt out of that. But it does make the building look more realistic, I think, so I have it on this build. Another detail, no sidewalks. What's up with that? Well, it ties back to my changing Wasabi district layout. I haven't finalized anything yet, but it's much easier to put separate sidewalks later on once I integrate this building back into the layout. It's pretty much the same tactic that I did with my last building, the Waffle House. And lastly, watch the original Vybe overview video, which I will link in the description, just so you know the story of how I came up with this build. In this video, I may go faster in some of the sections that I only changed slightly, whereas I would spend more time talking about the more drastically changed modules, and there are a few. Alright, the first module that we're going to look at in detail is the ground level lobby, and this module has very significant changes, probably the biggest change in the entire building. First of all, it is massive. It has over 1,300 pieces, and there are some noteworthy changes that wasn't in the original version. First, let's talk about the basics. Exterior wise, it didn't really change a whole lot. The facade style, these design cues, the windows, the corner door, the dark and light bluish gray stripes on the walls here and here on the other side, that's all carried over from the previous version. So the exterior of this building, pretty easy. I just had to convert it to the 32 by 32 footprint. The real fun starts when you actually look at the interior, because it is wildly different from the previous version. So let's start with the lobby. As you can see, the tiling is all new. The previous version had just white tiles, arranged like wood panels. It was pretty good, but a little bit basic compared to what I have here, which is me basically abusing these triangular 2x2 tiles. I believe I ordered around 60 black and 60 white, so I had them alternating with a pattern, as you can see. And then the dark red tiles. I've had a bunch for the longest time. I haven't had a real use for it until now, and it feels really good to use up some inventory that I haven't used in a while. One major design cue on the interior that I took from the old build was this wall right here with extruding clear bricks, because let's face it, I think it just looks too cool not to use again. You have fancy check-in desks. As you can see here, I haven't done anything like this before, just using a bunch of 1x1 tiles to make a checkered pattern. Another design cue that I kept from the previous build was the stairs to the second floor with the clear steps. I had a computer/business room in the old build, but it was just kind of tucked away in the corner. Here I think it's a little bit more prominent, so after looking at the lobby you see this big, kind of like a facade within a facade. But you have a door over here, you have windows with big arches, so that's brand new. I think with the arches and the round pillars, I think it classes up the interior a little bit. And inside you actually see the computer room. You have two Mac looking PCs with two chairs. That's about it. I think the actual computers and the desk is mostly a carryover from the old build. And then there's also another door here, which leads to a short hallway through another door, and an empty space. It could be a storage area towards the back door. Once you walk this hallway towards the end, you see this little door here. That'll be the elevator and the elevator shaft. And over here, there's an easily removable wall. And that reveals 2 restrooms. That is right, there's a couple of new restrooms with its own individual doors here and here. This is all new. But I want you to look at these toilet designs. They're new to me. I went for a more Japanese inspired toilet with bidet controls on this side and a smaller tank behind. So yeah, I just wanted to change things up just a little bit. But on the right side you have a sink and a mirror. That's basic design. You do see the small round brick just underneath. That's supposed to be the toilet paper rack. I was able to squeeze in those 2 toilets because on the previous build my lobby was really big and it had a lot of empty spaces. And I think with the new square floor plan, I was able to more efficiently pack this interior with details. The second floor has even more pieces. My count is over 1500, but I would say this is not a major redesign like the ground floor lobby. Sure, there are some minor changes, but I kept the overall look of the previous design. This is what it looked like before. Definitely plenty of similarities, including the light and dark bluish gray stripe tiling all around this module. Like in the old design, you have the same clear brick walls here and in here. This flower bed is new though. You still have the same red couch, but I just made it an L shape for this one. I took the same small kitchen that I had with the old design and just plopped it down here. And then the bar, which is now a little bit smaller than what it used to be. But instead of a straight counter, the bar is now U-shaped and now it has double the seats. I would say the biggest change here is the outdoor area. It used to be just one side in the old design, now it's an L shape wrapping around the module. The module is not fully enclosed by windows, and I think that gives this bar a very open air feel. But other than that, no major changes. I pretty much reused most of the pieces, and I only had to use a few extra pieces to complete this module. Next up, you have the third floor, which is the swimming pool and the breakfast buffet area. And I would say this is mostly a minor change. I didn't add or modify anything significant, I just configured it to the square floor plan. But there are some cool changes. First of all, the buffet area is now a little bit bigger. You enter from this side, and now you have a dedicated buffet spread for food. I added these 3 bowls with orange plates in it to signify hot meals. And there's actually a second spread just for the drinks. The dining area remained the same. It's just 2 small tables with 2 seats each. In the old build, I had a battery pack over on this side behind the buffet spread, and now I moved it to the pool side over here. Other than that, the indoor pool has the same vibe as the old design. The pool did grow from a 12x8 stud to a 10x10 stud. Thanks to its square design, it's more efficient. And like my other pool designs, these water builds is just sitting on a bed of tiles, and there are actually removable sections like so I can pose a minifig in the water. One small change I had is the addition of cool LED lights. As you can see, it's more of a cool white in contrast to the buffet room, which has a warm white. But yeah, other than that, I kept the vibe of the old design. And just to show the first 3 modules under the lights, here it is. Next up, we have the 5 common floors that make up most of the skyscraper's facade. And there's not a lot that changed from the exterior. Apart from the floor plan change, I tried to keep the design pretty much the same as the old one. You got these 2 floors over here with lights, and also the top one, which will be illuminated by the top floor modules. These are the 2 floors under the lights, nothing much to it. The real big change on this is the top module. And as you can see here, this is a massive change from the previous version. This is the old version. I pilfered some parts there, but it's still mostly intact like I said, and this is the new version. On the old one, you have simple white tiles, tan walls everywhere. On the newer version, you have a 2-tone floor, 2-tone striped dark and light bluish gray walls, And that theme is kind of recurring in this skyscraper. And I used solid brown doors to make the room pop more in terms of color. Whereas in the old version I just used simple white doors. I've said this on my progress videos. I think my biggest improvement with the new module over the old one is that how these two rooms look more uniform. For example, here you have an odd shaped hallway and you have this kind of a useless space here, and then the other room is much smaller. I think this new floor looks more like an actual hotel room layout. You have symmetrical rooms, you have the king here and then a double here, 2 bathrooms on each side, the hallway in the middle. Plus there are smaller improvements. You have a 3x6 large flat screen television set. You have coat hangers, and they are on both rooms. Again, another fancy toilet similar to the first floors. And I think the bed and nightstand design, although simple, I think it's an improvement over my previous version. So lots of details covered in this section. Next up, we're gonna go to the highest livable floor. This is the ballroom. And for reference, this is what it looked like on the old version. I would say that this floor only went through minor changes. I didn't do anything crazy here, I just reconfigured it to the square layout. Most of the details remain intact, including the couch, the plant, and the big ballroom. The ballroom went from a 24x20 stud area to a 28x17, so I think I was able to keep it mostly the same size. Nothing much else to say here, so let's go to the module above, which is the rooftop. There are 2 parts to this. Now, like the ballroom floor below it, I would classify that this only went through a minor change for the most part. As a refresher, this top module blends in quite nicely with the ballroom floor. Still have the same elevator shaft here that leads to an outdoor ladder that actually gets you to the topmost module, which is actually a mini module like the old version. And in this mini module, I upgraded the HVAC units to look like some of my newer builds. And then I added chimneys, which is new. And of course, the newest thing about this is the spire / antenna. This was a last second design decision for me. It's just freestanding pretty much. But I did add extruding bricks on the top module to act as clips so it can hold this spire in place. Another thing that's not included in the instructions is this assembly over here. On the instructions and on my 3D model it looks like this. So I guess you can say that this is a modification from my instructions because I have lighting installed, and I know some of you guys may potentially not want to put lights. Another thing that is not in the instructions, this stack of round bricks over here. As you can see, there's a wire going through it. Again, obviously for lighting. So yeah, I just want to point out the differences between my model and the instructions. And then I'm gonna put the hotel floor module back in the bottom so I can show you how it's lit up. Easy switch access here. And there you go. The spire actually has a purpose. It's to house the red LED light up top. Here it is in comparison with my last building, a Waffle House. Obviously a massive difference between the two. Since these are my last 2 building creations, these 2 builds aren't sitting on base plates. Here's more of an apples to apples comparison. This is the Vybe Hotel next to the Corporate Plaza, both 2.0. Lots of similarities between these 2 buildings, especially now that they both have 32x32 square floor plans. They were both originally built in the previous decade. They both have 11 modules. They both have over 8,000 pieces, and they are my 2 shortest skyscrapers. So yes, I'd say these 2 skyscrapers are very comparable. And I would say both look good with LED lights. Lastly, here it is in my layout room, and no, I am not actually sure where to put it yet. The more efficient square floor plan gave me more possibilities for sure, but its position is not something I am finalizing just yet. In fact, my layout shown here looks already different from my last video, since I am moving things around trying to find my favorite positioning. That is likely going to be a whole new video, so I'll leave it at that. And that is it for this video. What did you guys think? Do you like the new version? Do you still prefer the old one? Let me know in the comments. If you guys like this type of content, don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching guys. Peace.